Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jensen Park for the inaugural derby game between the Bankstown City Lions Football Club and the visiting Rockdale City Suns Football Club. What a match we have for you today between two of the famous clubs playing in the New South Wales Premier League competition. Both clubs are currently positioned pretty well in the top 8 and look good for a semi-final berth come May of this year. The two sides are being led onto the field, Bankstown City Lions by their secretary and club administrator, Louis Apostolovsky, and the president for Rockdale City Suns, Mr. Peter Rirovsky. The main sponsors for today's game is Ilya Buczynski from Buczynski Accounting Services, who has also donated a big prize, which is a brand new Hyundai Getz car, which will be drawn at full time. The crowd here at Jensen Park exceeds capacity, currently sitting at around 7,000 spectators, ladies and gentlemen. Something that's been a bit of a record for the New South Wales Premier League competition. The starting lineups for Rockdale: Steve Minosky, Peter Apoleski, Richard Plesher, the captain of Rockdale, Scott Bailey, Tony Dew, Robert Gomez, Denis Alilovic, Paul Bilakovic, Max Savaris, Ilya Przowski, and the famous Nick Blaszewski. The substitutes for the Rockdale City Suns: Michael Sindrich, Jimmy Ashner, Cameron Jones, Ryan Jones, and the reserve goalkeeper is Ricardo Patrizi. The Rockdale City Suns are coached by none other than former NSL great Ivan Petkovic. The starting lineup for the Bankstown City Lions: in goals you've got Slavko Josevski, who is also the captain of the Bankstown City Lions, Shane Webb, Matthew Prasello, Peter Tsakenis, George Nora, Matthew Borg, Mark Honzelars, Noel Arate, Alex Toposki, Steve Liavis, and Daniel Severino. The substitute bench for the Bankstown City sides: Omar Sadi, Dimitri Nicolaou, Sean Babbage, Robert Mileski. And the Bankstown are also coached by player himself, Mr. Peter Tsakenis. And the assistant for the Bankstown City side, is none other than Peter Papithas. There you can see the dignitaries from Soccer New South Wales: the president, Mr. Tom Demanis, Ilya Buczynski, the major sponsor of the game, Soccer New South Wales directors Jimmy Ronas and David Goodman. The referees for today's game is Mr. Matthew Breeze, the assistants Mr. T. Goodman and G. Askham, and the fourth official is Mr. A. Stibbinger. Here we are, the two sides have lined up now. The captain of the Rockdale City Sun side, Mr. Richard Plesher, greeting the players, introducing the players to Mr. Tom Demanis. May I say also the quality and talent of the former NSL playing in both squads here today. Bankstown City Lions have a few former NSL greats which have come down into this competition, namely Shane Webb, obviously the coach for Bankstown, Peter Tsakenis, George Nora, Noel Arate, and another international player who's had a stint at Empoli in Italy and Millwall in the United Kingdom, Daniel Severino. Let's not forget one of the famous strikers of the New South Wales Premier League, Mr. Sean Babbage, former Sydney United frontrunner and also leading goal scorer at his time. Rockdale, on the other stand, have also got some NSL players: Scott Bailey, Robbie Gomez, Paul Bilakovic, and also Nick Blaszewski, who has also had a bit of a footballing stint in Europe. Let's not forget also Mr. Ivan Petkovic, another former Sydney United great, who has also had a bit of a run in the NSL. Here we go, the major sponsor for today, Mr. Ilya Buczynski, kicking off the game to start the proceedings. But what a game we have for you today. Something that has never been held in the state of New South Wales. For the first time, you're witnessing a match which will be televised to the Republic of Macedonia, something never heard of. A New South Wales Premier League game being exported to Europe. All the fun and excitement just about to start. Players have been forming their positions. Rockdale on your screen in the white outfit, and the Bankstown City Lions wearing their traditional red and black outfit, coming to you from the left-hand side of the screen. Here we have Denis Alilovic over to Robbie Gomez. Nice calm control there. Bankstown suddenly on the attack. A long ball there played by Richard Plesher. Yusevski taking the ball. Daniel Severino attacking from the right-hand side. Taking the ball across. Passes a long ball across to Shane Webb. Shane Webb to George Nora. Cleared out by Robbie Gomez. Rockdale on the attack now with Denis Alilovic. Nice through ball there, but obviously a bit too long there for Ilya Brzezinski, safely into the hands of Zlatko Yusevski. Shane Webb taking the ball there on the left-hand side of the field. Robbie Gomez on the attack now for Rockdale. Nick Bashevsky. Oh, a bit of a push there, a bit of a push. No, but the referee does not blow anything. Bit of a rough tackle there by Alex Traposki on Nick Bashevsky. Unfortunately, the referee didn't see it his way. Throw in there for Rockdale. Robbie Gomez. This certainly will be one hell of a match here. Two of the teams pitted in the top 8 of the New South Wales Premier League competition. Certainly have a lot of respect for each other, but at the end of the day, there can only be one winner. Both of them vying for a top 8 final berth to ensure their success for the forthcoming season. Tony Dew attacking now on the left. Strongly tackled there by Noel Arate. Lost ball there. Here we go, Ilya Przowski. Matthew Borg in control. Taken in the touch by Max Savaris. Referee sees it a little bit differently. The ball being played back there to the captain of Rockdale, Richard Plesher. Peter Sekenis. Through ball across to Shane Webb. Shane Webb's trying to draw the defence there for the Bankstown City Lions, but unfortunately Daniel Severino gets pulled down by a foul. A very tough match so far. Two sides are feeling themselves out. There's a lot of respect, again, as I've said previously, between the two clubs. And this certainly will, no one will be giving an inch. Noel Arate. Through ball to nobody. Stephen Oski, another gentleman who's had one hell of a fine season here for Rockdale City Suns this year. Certainly saved them on more than one occasion. Richard Plesher. Across there to Scott Bailey. Playing pretty defensively here, the Rockdale City Suns. Both clubs do happen to officiate two of the strongest striking forces within the New South Wales Premier League competition. The likes of Jimmy Ashner, who the strength of his playing at the moment is on the substitute bench. Nicky Bashevsky, the well-known international striker for Rockdale. And let's not forget Bankstown strike force of Daniel Severino, a gentleman who's had plenty of experience playing in the Serie A in Italy for Empoli and had a fine stint with Millwall before he returned to Australia late last year. Rockdale on the attack now. Mark Honzalars clears the ball down the left-hand touchline there facing the grandstand. Scott Bailey. Long ball there, switch of play across to Max Savaris, but young Stephen Liavas seems to have the game wrapped up. For a small character, Stephen Liavas, he's certainly got a heart the size of Gibraltar. The gentleman puts everything into his football game. Rockdale on the attack now. Tough tackle there by George Nora. Alex Tupkowski. Matthew Borgs, recently come back from a pretty serious injury, surprisingly, to be playing back into the New South Wales Premier League competition. Smart move there by Nick Bashevsky, but unfortunately the pace of Matthew Pacello, and good play there by Peter Scanis to safety. But here we go, Rockdale on the attack now with Tony Dew. Max Savaris. Some good defending there from Alex Topkowski. Here we have George Nora just being fouled. Late tackle there on George Nora. Totally something that's totally unnecessary in the game. Obviously a foul to the Bankstown City Lions. A yellow card is shown. George seems to be okay. That's the most important part. This game certainly isn't going to be easy. Some of the defensive tackles that will be happening throughout today's venture, let me tell you, are going to hit a few people from left field. Through ball to Matthew Priscilla. Priscilla over to Steve Liavis. Bankstown on the attack now. Nice cross there. Headed away by Tony Dew. Toposky switch of play across to Shane Webb. Certainly this Rockdale City line defence. Certainly the defence for this Rockdale City Sun squad, very difficult to penetrate in the opening stanza by the Bankstown City Lions attack. Based on the experience so far, both sides have a good defensive record within the New South Wales Premier League, something that has maintained their performance so far year to date. And ultimately, the winner of today's game will be through a small defensive mistake. Daniel Severino takes the corner, safe into the hands of Steve Minoski. Lilivich on the attack now, Tony Dew. Through balls a little bit too far. Oh, I think that sort of brought a few stars there to young Nick, to Ilya Prenzowski, one of the new signings there for the Rockdale City Suns. Former player with the Blue Devils and the Central Coast United outfit, who recently signed a new contract with the Rockdale City Suns. Matthew Borg, through ball through to Shane Webb. Matthew Borg on the attack now, two defenders on him. Foul there by George Nora on free kick being taken there by Richard Fletcher. Switch ball to Tony Dew. Tony Dew, long ball down to Ilya Prenzowski. Robbie Gomez taking it up through the left-hand side across to Tony Dew. Unfortunately, Tony didn't have the legs. Goal kick for Bankstown City Lions. What a fantastic crowd we have today. Again, one of the record crowds in the New South Wales Premier League competition by two of the most supported clubs in the history of the New South Wales Premier League competition. Very strongly supported by their communities and also their local area people within the Bankstown City and Rockdale City. But again, all come out here in force today. Beautiful day here at Jensen Park, nice 28 degrees. A slight east-westerly blowing across the field, which makes the temperature a nice playing condition. George Nor on the attack now. Lilivich. Robert Gomez switches play across to Tony Dew. Bit of a pattern forming here by the Rockdale City Suns, attacking down there on the left. They seem to have found a bit of a weakness there. But the strength in Bankstown at the moment is their flat full defensive formation led by their player manager Peter Tsakenis. Ilya Prenzowski attacking from the left. Tony Dew not happy with the referee's decision. Free kick going to Bankstown's way, quickly played by Alex Toposky. Noel Arate, former NSL player with the Wollongong Wolves outfit, signed with Bankstown this year for his first stint in the New South Wales Premier League competition. Bankstown attacking now with Matthew Borg. Borg tries to do a switch, but there's just certainly no support there. Lilivich clears it for Rockdale. Gomez through ball. Safely into the hands of Peter Tsakenis, who plays it back to Zlatko Josefski. Another fine player for the Bankstown outfit. Also has proven his skills in the New South Wales futsal competition. Steve Liavis. Back to Matthew Priscilla, switching to play. Bankstown trying to hold on to possession to slow the tempo down. Shane Webb. Across to Alex Toposki. Foul there by Alex Toposki on Nicky Bashevsky. Bit of a caution there to Alex by the referee. Tony Dew. Tony Dew again. Robbie Gomez taking the ball through. Lost it through to Noel Arati. Quick break of play by the Bankstown squad with George Nora attacking through the centre. Cross there to Shane Webb. Shane Webb with a cross. Finally saved there by Richard Tosha. Big clearance there by Robbie Gomez. Let me say one thing, that Stevie Liavis might lack the height, but I tell you what, he really makes that up in heart and speed. The gentleman gives it all for the Bankstown City Lions. Stevie Liavis on the ball again. Certainly the sides are still feeling themselves out. Two very strong defensively built squads. Matthew Priscilla clearing the ball through. Looking for Daniel Severino, but unfortunately it's been cleared off the line. Max Savaras. Robbie Gomez attacking down through the centre. Fine shot by Robbie, saved pretty well there by Zlatko Sevski. Never really worried him at any given stage. With the resumption of play, Shane Webb attacking. George Nora. Through ball two. Oh, wide of the mark. One of the first opportunities of the game today. Daniel Severino gets a through ball there by George Nora. Let's see it on that replay. Passes it straight through. Finds a bit of an opening, but unfortunately Daniel was not on target. The first real opportunity of the game goes wide past the post. Ladies and gentlemen, today's game has been proudly brought to you by OzzyMak TV, Riberovsky Catering and the Imperial Travel Group. Lilovic again. Gomez across. Oh, he's unluckily fine. Zlatko Josefski clears the ball. Trying to find Matthew Borg. The tower of strength in Bankstown, one of the leading strikers. Last year's actual Golden Boot winner for the New South Wales Premier League competition. Scott Bailey switches play across to Tony Dew. Ball cleared there by Steve Liavis. Richard Flesher not taking any chances, making the most of his last defensive line there with Stephen Noski. Richard Flesher again. Through ball there to number 9, Nick Bashevsky. Takes the ball. Cleared off the line there by Matthew Pacello. What an opportunity gone begging there. Let's see that on the replay. Fine shot there by Nick Bashevsky. Luckily Matthew Pacello was on the line. Clears the ball through. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, what an opportunity gone begging. Lilovic on the attack now. Lilovic being fouled there by Georgie Nora. There's nothing like a few metres gained, is there, when there's a free kick? Over across to Tony Dew. Gomez. Nice there, neat back kick from Nick Bashevsky. Bankstown on the attack now. Daniel Severino finds the goalkeeper offline, but let me tell you, his shot's far and wide. Bit of an opportunist there, Daniel Severino. Unfortunately, the target nowhere to be seen. Scott Bailey. Trying to draw the Bankstown attack there. Richard Plesher. Bilokovic across to Tony Dew. Pinzowski to Alilovic. Alilovic trying to switch play across. Nice clearance there by George Nora. Tony Dew again. Nice cross there. Beautiful save there by Zlatko Yosefsky. Certainly you know you're in safe hands when Zlatko Yosefsky's in the back of your net. Clearance there by Plesher. Rockdale on the attack again. Ball cleared out there by Matthew Priscello. Funnily enough, Scott Bailey, one of the defenders for the Rockdale City Suns, a former Lions great actually, going back to the 93-94 campaign when the Bankstown City Lions won their back-to-back titles. Scott Bailey featured pretty prominently in the squad then for the Bankstown City Lions. Then he furthered his career playing into the then National Soccer League of Australia. But it's just wonderful to see two of the most outstanding clubs in the New South Wales Premier League putting on one hell of a festival here for the community and for all loving fans of football. Clearance there by Steve Liavis. Throw into Bankstown. Good backhand there. Good try there by Daniel, but unfortunately it didn't go to plan. Rockdale on the attack now with Nick Bashevsky. Oh! Totally unnecessary by Steve Liavis. Free kick there just outside the box there for Rockdale. Certainly game so far, ladies and gentlemen. A very defensive game. But the small stints of attack unfortunately haven't found the net. Cross across. Safely into the hands of Zlatko Yosefsky. Appears that Zlatko Yosefsky could have gained a slight injury from that last encounter.
He's hurt.
Appears to be taking a bit of a knock there in that last save. But the tower of strength that he is, he's back on his feet again. True grit, this gentleman, Zlatko Yosefsky. There's the incident again. He used to have an accidental bit of a knock there by Nick Bashevsky. Back to his feet again. Mark Honzelas. Through ball to Shane Webb. Robbie Gomez. Noel Arate. Arate to ball. Ball on the attack now. George Nora. Trying to find his... Noel Arate. Primes himself up for a shot. Safely into the hands of Steve Minovsky. This Rockdale defence certainly is pretty difficult to penetrate. Tony Dew. Steve Liavis onto Denis Alilovic. Noel Arate. Steve Liavis cross. Again, nowhere to be seen. The Bankstown City Lions strike force of Daniel Severino and Matthew Borg. A little bit laid back. Steve Minovsky was never in any threat.